right, joining me now for another edition of Know Your Knights is Knights forward Gabe Temple. And Gabe, I know it's been a long time since we've had you in here, but feels like a good time to have you in. You guys are coming off the Knights' first postseason series win in their brief history in the NAHL, and you played a huge part in that. Let's start right there. I mean, you come up with 3 goals in games 2, 3, and 4. Right now, I don't know if you're a stats guy, but if you're paying attention to numbers, you might already know this. But you're, I believe, second in goals scored in the playoffs, and you also lead the league in the postseason in power play goals right now. So it's a pretty solid first round, to say the least. But what's been working for you?
Just the line mates working in the corners, getting the puck. Same with the power play, just standing in front, getting tips or rebounds.
And then in game 1, I think we had a little line juggling going on between game 1 and then games 2 through 5. But Jake Fuss and Tomas Koblazek, guys you've played with before, and Tomas a lot, obviously, through the year. You know, they both come on in game 2 as your wingers, and you know, by game 4 and 5, you guys are the starting line. And it's been noticeable to just about everybody who's watched these games that you guys are clicking together. And you just mentioned it, and you know, you're going deep, getting pucks out of corners. But what growth have you seen from those two? I mean, obviously everyone's making strides throughout the year, but what, especially lately, whether it's Tomas going down low and shaking off 2 guys to feed Fuss to feed you in front, or you know, we've seen plays like that in the last week or 2, and if not even the last month. But what's been building for their game?
I think it's the little things. They're working hard, working together. I think they're excited to be on the ice for playoffs. So.
Sure. And you know, I alluded to the power play goals that you've been able to score in the postseason, and we saw that, you know, down the last, I don't know if it was the last month or last several weeks of the regular season even, you got a lot more power play time. And that's something that, you know, obviously it was a bit of a roller coaster throughout the year in terms of the power play conversion rate for the team. You know, and through the first week, I believe you guys are still hovering around that teens, early low teens, you know, mid-teens mark in terms of success rate. But obviously, you found some success in putting the pucks home. What's key to keeping that going into round 2 against a very good team in the Rebels?
Moving the puck quicker, getting shots through. I think the more shots we get, the more chances we get.
And then, again, from the beginning of that Titans series, you guys split the games 1 and 2. You come back and you have a tough loss here in game 3. You guys almost come back and rally back. And then you had back-to-back games where it was win or go home, and one being on the road in game 5. What allowed you guys to go into those final 2 games and come out with, you know, 2 huge wins, obviously, to move on? What was the focus, and 2, what was just the attitude out there on the ice?
The focus was probably just to play our game and stick to the systems, and everybody just wanted to win, so we just went out there and played our game.
Sure. And we were talking to Shea Donovan last week. He was noting, especially, you know, obviously any playoff series is going to be emotional, it's going to be chippy, it's going to be physical out there on the ice, but I think the question we asked him was who right now has got the best chirps on the team and who's playing the mental game well in a playoff series that is so, you know, intense. And he mentioned you. He said you were in their heads. They might have been a little bit in yours, but you especially were in theirs. You know, obviously, you know, in the postseason, it's a matter of you're not going to see quite as many penalties usually. But what allowed you to go out there and not only be, you know, obviously an impact player in the stat sheet, but also playing that mental game and you know, just kind of being able to go in and not back down from anybody in that series?
I think it's always been part of my game, and it's kind of fun because I mean, I can't wear a visor yet, so I can't really do much.
I got you. And then lastly, you know, as far as forwards go, you were right there at the top of the list and making an impact, but we can't get through this without talking about your goalie in Christian Stover, who had a heck of a series. He's, you know, we mentioned your stats at the top of all the score sheets, but Christian Stover's right at the top of the goaltending stats after round 1. What is it about him, do you think, and I'm going to ask your coach this later, but what is it about him that seems that he brings his best games when the lights are the biggest or the stakes are the highest?
I don't know, he's always been like that. I've known him for a long time, so he's always came up big for us in the big games. So.
Sure, and yeah, you know, obviously in playoffs, hot goalie can take you places, and obviously hot scoring can take you places as well. But with that, we'll flip it over. We'll do a little rapid fire here, and we have to bring this up because I think the last 2 guys, Shea Donovan and Joey Verkerke, that have come in here over the last couple of weeks have brought your name up a lot. Whether it's the question about getting stranded on an island, I think both of them picked you. They said something to the effect that you're a country guy and that you'd figure a way to get off a deserted island. That's normally the last question I ask, but we'll start there. I mean, what is it that gives them that impression? Are you just real handy out there? Are you a woodsman type? Do you go out and camp a lot, or what is it?
My dad's a big hunter, so
okay.
We always go hunting every summer in Montana and everything.
Gotcha. So you have a little knowledge out there. Yeah. Okay, you'd be able to get off the island. All right. Well, I'll ask you that question then. They both picked you, but if you're to get stranded on an island with one of your teammates, who are you taking and why?
Maybe Mo.
Marcy?
Marcy.
Okay. Yeah, he's also, I think, if I remember right, he likes to go, I don't know if it's hunting or fishing or anything around here in Pennsylvania, but okay. How about this? What got you into the sport of hockey?
My dad.
Yeah.
My dad grew up playing, so.
Okay. And then what was your favorite team growing up?
The Red Wings.
Red Wings, okay. And then favorite player?
Eisenman.
Okay.
And outside that, speaking of Ovechkin.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he's having a good week.
Yeah.
Who would you say most influences your game as a player?
Probably my dad.
Okay.
He always pushes me to do my best.
Gotcha. Okay. How about non-hockey sport? What would you say is your favorite?
Probably golf.
Golf. Okay. Yeah, we had an answer. I think Shay said that last week too. He's a big Tiger guy. How about you?
Rory.
Rory McIlroy. Okay. All right. If you're away from the rink, on an off day like yesterday, what are you doing? What's your go-to relaxation?
Probably playing Xbox or going fishing.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, Xbox then. We've asked these questions, a variation of it all year, but if you're to put the Knights as the 32nd expansion team in the NHL, just pretend for the sake of this question that they're team number 32. If you're going in and making this team, the one you're on right now, and putting them in the NHL, who's the highest rated player? And I asked that now. We had the same answer pretty much throughout the year, but I'll ask you just to see if there's a different perspective there. And then who would you say has the best speed on the team? Let's those two first, because I get a lot of the same answers, but every once in a while.
Speed, I would put Curtis.
Okay.
And highest rated, I would put Kidney or Olmstead.
Okay, I gotcha. And then who would you put as far as, I think there's a toughness rating in there, but who would you say is the toughest player on this team?
That's a hard one.
Yeah. I know, there's a lot of good options. You guys are playing.
I'd probably put Gillette and me. Okay,
gotcha. All right, I like that. All right. Last one we'll ask for that question is let's say you guys, obviously it's not relevant in the playoffs because there's no shootouts, but if you had to put shootout rating, who's got the best move on this team? I know Jack Olmstead gets a lot of love for that move he pulled in Blaine. Hasn't really had an opportunity to use it since, but would it be Jack or is it somebody else?
Probably Jack, yeah.
Okay. And I know you have a shootout goal earlier this year, if I remember right. It was mid-season, I think?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think you'd be high on that list?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right. And I guess we'll round it out on this one. So far, and this is more of a sentimental question. Obviously, you still got some time, and there's still a full playoffs still to be played. But what would you say throughout the season has been your favorite memory thus far? Would it be winning this series, or is it something else earlier in the season that you've enjoyed the most as part of your first season with the Knights?
I enjoyed Alaska.
Alaska?
Okay. Good time.
Okay, all right, I like that. All right, well, Gabe, we thank you here for a few minutes after practice, and we wish you the best of luck here moving into round 2.
All right, thank you.